Greetings YouTube, Simon here and welcome to another Final Fantasy VII Remake update. As a matter of fact, there's quite a few coming because at TGS this year, not only did we get that trailer a couple of days ago, just before the show in fact, but it seems that we've actually been receiving quite a bit more information as well, some of which I will certainly want to look at. So, that's going to begin today with the fact that somebody over at Reddit noticed in one of the gameplay videos at TGS there was a brief shot of the main in-game menu popping up that was screenshotted and then shared as a Reddit thread. I'll leave a link to that thread down in the comments below. Now, it should be noted that the main menu was not available for those that played the demo, so this was a special gameplay demonstration, perhaps by Tetsuya Nomura, could have been somebody else, but whoever it was, they was obviously playing a different build of the game, which did include this menu. Now, it should be noted that even so this wasn't included in the demo, it's still probably incomplete. And as a matter of fact, not only are some of the things we see here quite exciting, but some of the things we don't see and perhaps would expect to see are also notable. So as I say, maybe that's just because of the various gameplay systems in the remake, or maybe it's because they just have not yet been implemented. The first thing that struck me when I saw this menu was how it plays homage to the original Final Fantasy VII. In fact, I've got a screenshot here of the original Final Fantasy VII menu. It's a very blue menu, and as you can see, that's the style they've gone for also with the remake. So let's go through some of these options and speculate on what they might do. Now, battle settings is probably self-explanatory. Any customizable settings for the battle will likely go in here. Now, one of those, which we have just learned about recently, I was going to make a video on this, but I'll probably just shoehorn it in here, is the ability to actually set all of your party members, including the active leader, to an automatic gambit, which means that they'll just take care of the battles themselves, and then when the ATBs are filled, you can then issue commands whenever you wish. So this is supposed to be in view of the fact that the original Final Fantasy VII, you would wait for the ATB to fill up automatically, and then once it was filled, you would issue the commands. In the same way, by setting this special setting in the remake, the characters will fight for themselves while the ATB gradually fills up, and then when it has filled, the player will then issue commands. So again, that's an optional setting. You can take a much more active role in the battle if you want to, but if you want to perhaps get a kind of original Final Fantasy VII vibe when you're playing, then that would be an awesome feature to turn on, and no doubt when the remake's in our hands, we'll all be dabbling in it to see which system we prefer. Next up, we have enemy report. It's possible that that might be to do with various objectives, and because one of the things that I've noticed is missing here, there's no like objectives or missions or quests option, so it's possible that that's included under enemy report. It's possible that it just hasn't been included in the main menu yet, but obviously, we need to know where to go for our next mission, our next objective, so I'd expect to see something along those lines in the main menu. It's possible it's included under enemy report. But I'm hoping that that's just something that hasn't been implemented in the menu, because I'm hoping that enemy report is going to be a bestiary where we can go in, see the enemies that we've battled, see the foes that we've encountered, have a look at their models, learn about them, read about them, see their stats. Having everything on one page like that, I think, is something that a lot of JRPGs do. It's something I enjoy, and I really hope that Final Fantasy VII Remake will give us that ability, especially with these stunning graphics and 3D models that are being used. I'd love to be able to go into a bestiary where we can see the enemy models, control them, turn them around, just get a really good look at them, because sometimes it's tricky in the midst of battle, but like I say, it could also be to do with quest objectives or something of that nature. Magic, it's possible that this is to do with Materia. In the original Final Fantasy VII menu, we had magic and Materia as separate. Magic could be where you'd want to just go ahead and cast any spells you had, such as cure on your party members, along with seeing your other magic spells also. But then we'd have Materia separately. Now, we do know that Materia is a thing in Final Fantasy VII. We know that you're going to be able to equip your weapons with various Materia in order to cast spells. So it's possible that Materia is going to be bundled into this magic menu. It's possible that Materia hasn't been added to the menu yet, and that it's going to be a separate entry. We just don't know. But I suspect in either case, the magic option is going to allow us to fiddle about with the in-game magic settings. Items, probably self-explanatory. We'll get to, see how many Phoenix Downs we have. Tufts of Phoenix Downs, I believe, in this game. Status will no doubt give us our character stats, and then obviously the last two are pretty obvious: save and load, and then system, so that we can adjust any in-game settings. Incidentally, there's some Japanese down the bottom here. And from what people have said on Reddit, this has to do with DLC. I mean, it does say DLC there, so it's fairly obvious. I guess we can see what DLC we currently have available. Makes me think, though, that the fact they've gone to the effort of adding this into the menu, that the DLC pre-order bonuses are not going to be the only DLC for the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Let's be honest, we'd have been fooling ourselves if we thought that that was all there was going to be. There's clearly going to be a ton of DLC coming out for this game. Whether there's going to be a season pass or not, I don't know. There wasn't for Kingdom Hearts 3, so maybe there will be, maybe there won't be. But obviously DLC is going to be integrated into the game from the get-go, and it's certainly going to be part of the in-game menu. This triangle button over here is a quick save option from what people on Reddit were saying. So yes, you can save by going through the menus, but you can also just tap the triangle button and then we can see the time played. So far, 1 hour and 8 minutes, and I'm assuming that's the gil amount. Now, in terms of stuff that I would have expected to be there but isn't, first of all, obviously I've mentioned Materia. Second of all, is summons. Now, we do know that summons are going to be quite a big part of Final Fantasy VII Remake, despite the fact that they were not present in the original game during the Midgar section, but they are going to be here in the remake. And from what I've seen so far, the summons are absolutely incredible. They're going to work, as far as we can tell, in a similar way to the Final Fantasy XII summons. That is, you'll call them onto the battlefield. They'll last a certain amount of time performing actions, performing attacks while they're there on the battlefield along with your party members before leaving the battlefield, having completed their finishing move at the end of their timer. So very similar to the Final Fantasy XII implementation. Obviously they look absolutely amazing. They're incredibly detailed. The spell effects and everything, it blew me away when I've seen it in one of the recent gameplay videos. I'll probably make a video myself on it to show you guys if you haven't seen that. But I suspect that summons will be getting their own menu option as well, since as we start to build up a collection of them, we'll need to see them and learn about them and what have you. But hey, it looks like this is, you know, the first hour of the game. We can see down here, possibly this is the section where you battle the Scorpion Sentinel, as it's called now. So it's just likely rather that summons haven't been unlocked by this point, which is why there's no menu option there. Yeah, overall then, I really do like this new menu. I think it's crisp, I think it's sleek. I like the way that we get the characters' surnames printed on the screen. I like the fact that we have these awesome 3D models and the fact that they kind of blend into the background of the menu. Perhaps some of you would have preferred to have seen a more anime-style, traditional 2D classic portrait for the art here. But it wouldn't surprise me, based on what we've been learning so far, if Square actually give us options in the system menu to change the menu from perhaps a more modern look to a more traditional look. Since they're doing that with the battle system, as I discussed a few moments ago, they'll probably implement that philosophy in other areas of the game as well. Yeah, but overall, guys, what do you think of the new menu system? Is it something that you would have expected? Does it exceed your expectations? I suspect things are going to change quite dramatically as we get into release next year. These things always do. Interfaces are usually always in flux during the final release, stages before release of a game. So, don't expect things to look exactly like this when we play it ourselves in March. But overall, I like it. I like the direction they're going in, and I'm looking forward to seeing more. Yeah, thanks for stopping by with the video today, guys. Please don't forget to hit the like button if you've enjoyed it, and stay tuned because there's a whole bunch of other Final Fantasy VII Remake news I want to share with you. I'll see you then.